with The Real Cinemas Blackpool and Ballincollig and online at therealpicture.com.
In a world where there's a million movie podcasts, here comes another one from themoviebit.com. This is the podcast.
Christ. Who taught you that technique? A friggin' cheese grater?
Anything gets more than 3 blocks out, you turn it back, you turn it to ash. So you listen to me and you listen well.
Hey everybody, how we doing? Welcome to the podcast from themoviebit.com. My name is Victor Barry. Over there is Tom White. Welcome to another episode of All Things Movies and Filth and derogatory terms and yeah. Anyway, we're all here.
You know what to expect.
I think people know what to expect at this stage. We're all here with thanks to our sponsors, The Real Picture Cinemas. You can check them out online at therealpicture.com. It's been an interesting week for movies. We have Taco Balls, we have scary movies, and the amazing Gene Wilder passed away late last Monday night, not long after we got off the air, as it were. So we like to kick each and every show off by meandering mildly. This week we're not going to do that. And we are going to bring you some cool shit that you really never knew about the movies. And we call this Tom's Trivia 3.
Tom's Trivia Tree.
Tom, what delectable, tasty treats have you cooked up for us this week?
I could come up with a third one. So first up.
Yes.
After This Is Spinal Tap came out, a lot of people thought they were a real band.
Okay,
and so much so the VHS had a disclaimer inserted at the end that stated Spinal Tap didn't actually exist.
For a while I had the notion that Spinal Tap were a real band.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people actually did. That's probably fair to say.
Like, there's a story going around that Ozzy Osbourne didn't laugh at us because he thought it was an actual documentary. And well, it's Ozzy Osbourne. And then The Edge, after watching it, said you don't know how close you are to the truth. So maybe they did so well that they actually made us believe.
That kind of sounds similar to the alleged story that Ronald Reagan said to Steven Spielberg about a screening of E.T. in the White House. You don't know how real this is.
And Steven Spielberg.
Maybe it's just something that goes in Hollywood folklore.
Yeah.
You know, somebody, maybe Vin Diesel was talking to somebody, some racetrack driver, and he's like, you don't know how real this is, man. Assuming that all NASCAR drivers, racetrack drivers are from the deep south. And they steal from a fucking swamp.
They steal DVDs from trucks in their spare time.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, we've all been there.
TV, DVD combis.
Remember those?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what they stole in the first Fast and Furious.
Right, next up, what have we got?
Fight Club. Mm-hmm. And the visible breath in the cave scene is recycled from Titanic. It's actually Leonardo DiCaprio's breath from that movie, and it was composited into the shot.
Really?
Yep.
That is the most insane piece of trivia I think you've ever brought to the table. Literally, we have a table now.
Oh, yeah. You've seen it.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah. That's like really? Ultimate recycling.
Okay, I need to dig out Fight Club again on Blu-ray and look at that scene.
And just screen Titanic.
And then I can just point it at my wife and she's not looking at Brad Pitt's abs going, that's Leonardo DiCaprio's Brett Dalla. Look at it.
You listened to Tom again, were you?
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, I like to think there's just like a vault just full of VFX shots. They just go, we need this, we need this, we need this.
Well, it's like trailer music is recycled continuously.
Yeah.
The Island from Mr. Jablinski was, the team from The Island was used famously in Avatar. The trailer for Avatar.
Yeah, and Kurt Mansell's, I can't remember the name of it, but it's from...
Clint Mansell even?
Clint Mansell? Did I say Kurt?
I don't know what you said. You're probably thinking of Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell, yeah. Oh, the single Kurt Russell.
Who probably has a band somewhere in a garage.
But his Requiem for a Dream, his music from that is used in pretty much nearly every trailer. Most famously, Lord of the Rings, Two Towers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go, people. See, go dig out those trailers on YouTube when you can go, the lads in the Movie Bit podcast were right.
And there was a time that piece, that particular piece of music was everywhere. I remember it was on an ad for GAA.
Explain to your American audience what the GAA is.
It's
a load of rednecks kicking a football around the place.
Our version of rednecks.
Or it's a load of rednecks kicking a smaller football around the place with a stick.
Yeah.
They're not rednecks, really. They're talented people. I know some GAA players. Sorry.
Yeah. One of them
I used to know some GAA players after the podcast.
One of them owned a corner shop in my town.
Really?
Yep.
Hello, Tom.
Right.
How the sugar, Tom, is it? Tea? Good man, Tom. Tea? What about the bread, Tom? No. Half sliced pan? Nah. What about a brown man for the fibre, Tom? And them, nah. Pull out! Down the line, pull out!
You don't know how close you were. And finally, the title.
See, the American audience will go, my God almighty, what was he screaming pull hard for? Is it a pornography? Why do I kind of sound something like Jeff Goldblum ever so slightly? Chaos theory. The Irish people go, oh Jesus, yeah, we got the G on the front side. Pull out, steak, spuds.
A lot of Irish people are having flashbacks. Especially to yesterday. Well done, Tip.
Ooh.
And finally,
I don't believe we spent more than 5 seconds talking about GA on this podcast. Things have got really bad. Tom is here in a Tipperary jersey.
We're growing up.
Yeah.
And finally, Shutter Island.
Yes.
The title is an anagram of Truth and Lies, which is a nice hint to the events of the movie.
It's such a great movie. It's one of the best roles I think DiCaprio has done before Wolf of Wall Street. I really do.
I kind of
liked him in Titanic.
No. I remember reading that book and absolutely loving it, but kind of in the back of my mind, if it turned out, spoilers, that he's an inmate, I'm going to be really pissed off. And the last chapter came, and he was an inmate, and it was just done. It's been done so much before, it kind of ruined the book and the movie.
See, I never read the book for Shutter Island. So when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, this is so good. Yeah. And even at the end, I was like, huh? Yeah, no, it's a really good movie.
You became Tim Allen.
Kinda, yeah. Kinda. Something like Tim Allen. Imagine that, you wake up and you find yourself, I'm Tim Allen. Right, okay, moving on. Reviews. This week we're going to be talking about a party of sausages. We're going to be talking about something that may or may not scare you. And then coming up, we are going to be unleashing a critically acclaimed screen actor for the week that is, or the week that was, in particular. Also, you can get in touch with us by emailing podcast@themoviebit.com. You can hit us up on Twitter @themoviebit. And of course, if you still find yourself on the web away from social media, then you can also drop us a comment on any of the articles on themoviebit.com. The award-winning, multiple award-nominated themoviebit.com. And thanks again for the people who voted for us for the blog awards.
Yeah.
We're a finalist in 2 categories, arts and culture and TV and film. So hopefully we will bring back the statue or the prize again this time around.
Bring back the glass.
Yes, bring back the glass. Bring back the glass. Right, okay, where do we start? You want to start with Morgan or Sausage Party?
Let's start with Sausage Party.
Okay.
Because it's opened up on my computer. So, Sausage Party. I think we've all seen the trailers. We've all kind of gone, an R-rated animated comedy about food with Seth Rogen in it. And I think a lot of people...
That's all I needed to hear at the time.
Yeah, a lot of people were looking forward to this. And this had all the promise of being absolutely amazing. And it's good. It's it works well. The humor with the story works well, but there's a lot about it that just falls flat. Like, the story is Shopwell's a supermarket, and all the food in it have been taught to believe that humans are gods, and when they select you from the shelves, you're brought to the great beyond, and you live your life in peace and harmony. We all know that's not true because we eat the fuckers. But Seth Rogen's Frank, a hot dog, he kind of starts thinking, maybe something isn't right, and he sets off on a quest to find out the truth. Like, from the opening frame, Sacha Party it fizzes with this manic, giddy energy, and it makes the bonkers concept actually a bit easier for audiences to swallow.
Okay.
And, like, this takes the piss out of Toy Story and a million other kids' movies. And...
Does it fuck over Shrek?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, Shrek is the one thing that kind of... It's mainly the Disney Pixar canon they go for.
Oh, okay.
Kind of opens up with a song taken directly from any Disney movie.
Oh, okay. So they're afraid of Jeffrey Katzenberg.
Pretty much. And, like, the song, Tom's Trivia 4, it comes courtesy of Aladdin and the Little Mermaid composer Alan Menken.
Oh, okay.
So, it... Like, make no mistake, though, this goes some really weird places. We got a monstrous douche that acts like a massive douche.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty...
All you
pretty
Irish
smart.
ladies might know what that is, but I'd say goggle it and you'll find out.
Yeah, you
got...
got...
Gee!
You got lesbian tacos, and you got drug-addled humans who can see the food, walking and talking thanks to bath salts. A Seth Rogen movie.
Seth Rogen's life.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, this was written by Rogen and his longtime directing / screenwriting partner, Evan Goldberg. And directors Conrad Vernon and Greg Tynan, they delight in skewing the usual animated movie tropes, and they just ladle dick shit. They ladle thick dollops of R-rated humor on top of proceedings. Like, the animation is beautiful. It's
You will have never seen an animated orgy like it before in your life.
Yeah, you will not have. I don't think you'll ever see it again, though.
Maybe in the sequel.
Yeah, but if it goes where it's promising, I don't hold out hopes for it. Like, all of the food are really expressive. Like, there's even a pot of honey mustard that looks like stop motion for some reason, but it works well. But these expressive kind of food characters, they come at expense of the human characters, who are like really dull and kind of blandly designed by comparison. And then you have the voice cast. Let me just read just a cross section of this voice cast.
I will let you, Tom.
Okay, we have Seth Rogen, as we said before, Kirsten Wiig, Bill Hader, Michael Cera, Jonah Hill, Paul Rudd, James Franco, Edward Norton, doing a spot-on Woody Allen impression. And they go a long way to adding more life to the characters. But, and there's always going to be a but, the novelty of the premise soon wears thin, and like it will raise its fair share of chuckles. But the humour we're saddled with is of the lowest of the lowest common denominator. There's just nothing but racial stereotypes, and when, like, we all get a laugh at a good racial stereotype, but when it's nothing but that, it gets a bit old. And there's a series of food puns that seriously outstayed our welcome. Like, it's nearly every 5 minutes one like lands on your lap, and after the fifth one is going, no more, please, no more. And I've said before, this movie is weird, and it just kind of gets weirder and weirder. And by the end, near the end,
I don't mean it gets weird. What's so weird about it? Like, are they going into parallel fucking dimensions? How does it get weird without giving anything away?
It's just the concepts they start dealing with. Like, let's say the douche, played by Nick Kroll. He's thrown away at the start, and he starts leaking his fluid. Then he starts drinking other food, like he starts drinking juice to get juiced up and get stronger. And then, like, there's the food orgy, and there's just all.
You found a food orgy disturbing or weird?
It goes on a bit too long. And
Tom couldn't get it up in time, people. That's what happened.
You get the feeling, kind of, as the finale beckons, that they're just doing weird shit for the sake of doing weird shit.
Okay.
Look, there's a lot of fun to be had here, but it ultimately feels a bit too much at times. even if the humor seems to be written by giggly teenagers, Sausage Party has its problems, but still worth your time as an incredibly entertaining distraction. 3 stars.
I'd say it's probably 4 stars, but Tom's just turned into an old fucking get off my lawn type.
All right.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me being another
go watch it. Go watch
another
it.
get off your lawn type.
Go watch it and we'll have a discussion next week.
Okay, it'll be just like Ant-Man again.
Yeah. You're wrong about
we're
that,
drinking
by the way.
whiskey.
You're wrong about Ant-Man, by the way.
We're drinking whiskey. Alrighty, moving on. Morgan, which has got a lot of, in a kind of a bizarre twist. I can recall artificial intelligence being used for the movie Artificial Intelligence, where they had a viral site where you could have a full-blown conversation with a bot that was fairly intelligent. However, for Morgan, they started bringing in real-life robots and making them watch it. And the robots, through some weird AI or some dude with a string and a stick, gave their reactions to the movie. And it was it was bizarre. And you can check out these clips on themoviebit.com. It's bizarre to say the least, but it's an interesting on movie marketing to get people now to for a studio to get their movie on your radar. They have to use AI robots watching the movie.
They even had an AI make a trailer.
Yeah, I mean that was the other thing, which was interesting. I mean, if you look at Google's is it the deep sleep thing? Their algorithms where the computers can see, basically they're Skynet, so the computers can see and makes all this fucked up stuff.
Who's Kyle Reese?
It just it's interesting that they're pushing this to get it on people's radars, and it's viral clips, and it's like, oh, look at the robots looking at the movie.
Yeah, it's great marketing.
As long as you watch that clip and remember what that movie was, then great. Watching the movie and remembering what it was afterwards is another thing, though. Tom.
Yeah. Vic. We have Morgan, and this is coming from the directorial debut of Luke Scott, son of Ridley, Sir Ridzer. And and like this, like the story is, if you've were listening to what Vic was saying, you pretty much guess the story. It's about an AI, and to go a bit deeper, Kate Mara, she plays Lee Weathers, and she's a corporate troubleshooter who's brought in to determine whether or not this new artificial intelligence, bioengineered artificial intelligence, called Morgan, played by Anya Taylor-Joy, if she is a danger to the world after having a tantrum and leaving one of her handlers seriously injured. And there's not much more to the story than that. And the biggest problem is that screenwriter Seth Owens, he doesn't really develop the numerous interesting ideas he throws at us.
Okay.
And pretty soon, Morgan just settles into a comfortable groove as a run-of-the-mill sci-fi thriller. And it has 2 speeds. It has slow and methodical, and it has hyper speed. And
sounds very X Machina.
Yeah. It's a lot of people have been kind of bringing X Machina.
Machina, Tom.
No, you say tomato, I say Machina.
The studio says Machina.
Well, Latin doesn't say Machina.
Thomas just fucking went on the internet and go, what the fuck is Machina in fucking Latin? Yeah, okay.
Anyway, the first act,
yes,
and much of the second just takes its time setting up the premise and the characters. It's setting the chessboard so it can flip it over later. And it does its best to sow these seeds of tension and dread of what's to come. But my God, is it slow. You'll find yourself fighting not to look at your watch. And it's close to the hour mark that the movie actually kicks into high gear. And this is what I love about, one thing I love about this movie. It kicks in high gear with a conversation.
Okay.
The movie up until now has been leading up to the psych eval that Morgan's going to undergo with the fantastically smarmy Paul Giamatti. And this scene is just, it pays off in spades. It sells the entire premise of the movie. It sells Morgan as an actual threat, And it also shows us Anya Taylor-Joy, who we last saw in The Witch. She's one of the rising stars of 2016, and she shows that she has what it takes to hang out with the big boys and hold her own against a heavy hitter like Giamatti. And it's from that moment on, Morgan becomes a different movie. It starts bringing elements of horror and a huge helping of action. There's like a hand-to-hand fight scene that just kind of a bit out of place, and it doesn't let up until the closing credits. It's a bit of a shock to the system at first. It's kind of complete 180 to what we were fed before. But Scott and Owens kind of make it work. There's also this third act reveal that if your eyes are open, you kind of guess it from the first 5 minutes. And after watching, I was trying to figure out, like, did they try to make it a reveal, or did they just kind of just put it in there and let it, the people who cop it, and the people who don't, because they don't pull the wool over eyes. They never kind of present it as anything more than it is. And if you do cop it, it actually helps the story, as we're left wondering and invested in what is actually going on. And okay, let's talk about Luke Scott for a second. This is his first feature film, and he proves himself to be an immense emerging talent. He has the movie is entirely slick affair. There's some great shots. The sound mix is amazing. There's one scene that is entirely bathed in the red light of a car's headlights, and it's just it's intense and it's creepy, and he has a great handle on, like, there's a great ensemble cast here. You got Michelle Yeoh, you got Toby Jones, Rose Leslie, Jennifer Jason Leigh. Like, yes, a lot of them are relegated to the sidelines, but still make an impression. It is Mara and Taylor-Joy's show for much of the movie. They get a lot of the lion's share, but they handle it with ease. And I said before, Taylor-Joy is someone to watch out for. She makes us feel for Morgan. She makes us feel for artificial intelligence, and she's an incredibly compelling character. Like, Morgan is a great first showing from Scott, but it's let down by a generic script that doesn't do justice to the lofty ideas it wants to explore. What we're left with is a run-of-the-mill, entertaining sci-fi thriller. 3 stars.
Just looking at the box office for it, it's making no money. I know. Now, look, it opened to over 2,000 screens. It's on release just for a couple of days, and it's only pulled in 1.9 million in the States, 1.4 million foreign, which gives it a grand total of just under $3.5 million, which is not a lot. I know it's kind of it's a genre pick, but it had a fairly big publicity campaign behind it, and it just seems like they're not getting their return on anything.
No, and like, I hope this doesn't kind of hurt Scott in the long run, because he has the pedigree there, and he does show that given the perfect script, he can be a fantastic director. So hopefully now we see more from him.
It's interesting if you look back at his Oldfellas career. One of the first movies to break him was, I won't say it's a similar genre, but you were dealing with artificial intelligence.
Oh yes, Alien.
Yeah, so there is
the
some
Blade Runner.
There is some kind of connection.
Yeah,
but obviously I think his Oldfella
Ridza,
as he's done.
That's my favorite running joke for this podcast.
Nobody gets it now anymore because it started so far back.
It's really Scott we imagine him as a football hooligan.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever's in Tom's fantasy world.
Even you forgot how it started.
Yeah. But anyway, not a good start financially, because it doesn't matter how talented you are. Hollywood comes down to numbers, unfortunately.
Yeah. And like, can we just compare it to Ex Machina?
Okay, because I haven't seen Morgan, but just from what you're talking about, it does sound very, very similar to Ex Machina.
Yeah. So, like, what were the numbers on that? Was is it because it is a genre flick, and it's very, like, this the whole thing of artificial intelligence, and especially the way it's presented here in both movies, it's kind of smart sci-fi. Mm-hmm. And like if your name isn't Christopher Nolan or Matthew McConaughey, I don't think smart sci-fi does well with audiences.
X Machina did 36 million worldwide, which I would think is not a lot of its budget made back in any capacity.
Well, just about broke even. If its budget was 15 million.
Generally the rule is you double it, so they kind of made their money back, and they would have made it back on the home release. I don't know.
Yeah, and like a bus.
From what you were saying, I would take Ex Machina over Morgan.
Oh yeah, Ex Machina. Yeah.
What a cunt. But like.
Oh yeah, coming from you.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
Do we have to revisit the whole AT-AT AT-AT thing?
Yes, they're fucking AT-ATs. AT-AX in Rogue One. But you know what? Like the whole that genre of artificial intelligence stuff, it's obviously trying to creep inside the psyche, and it has been for years, because one of the biggest blockbusters of all time had artificial intelligence right at its core. That was the Terminator franchise, which I would think with at an uneducated guess even. Terminator franchise is $1 billion franchise.
Yeah, but that's an action franchise, which is much more appealing to audiences.
But when you look at artificial intelligence, there you see that they're trying to dip their toes into something else, and it's not necessarily working that well. I think it made that whole genre, until we have robot overlords walking amongst us, is maybe best served up on Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't know, is it a big screen thing? Because even as beautiful as Ex Machina looked, it just was that bit, it wasn't a big screen experience. And I think the way movies are going, it's all about a big screen experience. You don't want to go in and see something that will look the exact same on your TV. If you went, I've looked at The Force Awakens numerous times.
Really?
Yeah.
God, I would not have guessed.
And I've seen it on the TV. I've seen it on a projector screen. I've seen it in the cinema. And even on a 100-inch projector screen, it's still, it's better than a TV.
Yeah.
But it's the cinema is where you get this big experience. So stuff like Morgan, I think, doesn't lend itself to the cinema. I think they may be better off looking at, okay, let's shove it out to an amount of screens, but let's get it onto streaming and home release fairly quickly. And I think that's where those kind of movies can afford to be. Because somebody's going to be looking at the books for this one going, okay, this stuff really isn't working.
I see it being on Netflix within 6-8 months.
Yeah, even if you look at, for example, Minority Report, kind of blurring. Yeah, there was AI in there. It was when you're talking about AI, we're talking about the future, really. When you look at Minority Report, 358 million. I guess that's the power of Tom Cruise.
Yeah, but again, that mixed action in with it.
Yeah, but it was Minority Report was a bit more intelligent.
It was, yeah.
It was the dumb brother of Inception.
Like,
if you want to put it another way.
Yeah.
So if people view Inception,
no offense, Steven Spielberg.
If people view Inception as kind of one of these IntelliBusters, so an intelligent blockbuster. Then Minority Report is just a step below because it's not that confusing, but you're still dealing with the future. You're still dealing with a lot of computer simulated stuff. It's a genre that seems to struggle unless you have Tom Cruise attached to it, and even then,
a healthy dose of explosions.
Yeah, even then, 358 million. Yes, it made its budget back, which was 102 million, but at the same time, it just,
Yeah,
it's not $1 billion movie. So these movies, I think, are far best served for the small screen, or maybe independent cinemas. But for your local multiplex who are struggling to get people in, and when people do come in, they are coming in for big event movies, right? Stuff that they know this is going to sound amazing in a big screen. It's going to look amazing on a big screen. So we're going to pay our €500 to get in and watch it, or $7 million.
Like, I did ask the cinema I went to, I did ask how it was doing, and there was like 10 people in my screening, and they said the screen before had 2.
And that's it. I mean, that will move out of cinemas very, very quickly because it's not doing the business for them.
I think this both Ex Machina and we're going to build a psychological thrillers, and I think mix. So you have psychological thriller and then you have sci-fi. That's not a mix that appeals to people.
And I just wonder, coming at the end of the summer, where no matter where you are, kids are going back to school. It's not something that, for parents who might get a little bit of time, for adults who might find themselves with a little bit of free time, I'll go see that. They don't want to be engaged. I wonder, would something like that have been better served November, December, or January, February?
Yeah. Kind of when we're in the mindset of it's Oscar season, so we're in the mindset of let's kind of have a big tinky movie. Yeah,
and in one sense, what I'm saying is right, but in the other sense, it's quite saddening to think that that's what people want. That people need to be in the mindset to see a movie. Yeah. As opposed to being permanently in the mindset to see a dumb old blockbuster. Don't get me wrong, I love dumb old blockbusters. Who doesn't? But I think if you don't broaden your horizons to something else, I know a few people who refuse to see Inception because they were told, you'll have to pay attention to it.
And that's the whole thing with subtitles. People's outrage at going to see a movie with subtitles. And that's something else. It doesn't grind my gears as much as it used to, but I think if you don't look into or delve into foreign cinema, then you're missing out. Yes.
Particularly the Asian side of things, which is insane. There's some amazing movies there. I guess one that sticks to mind instantly more recently is The Raid.
Yep.
Which is phenomenal. The Raid 2 is phenomenal as well. A bit more commercialized than the first one. But they're just two. Or if you look at the Ip Man series, the earlier Ip Man stuff, if you look at the Once Upon a Time in China, all of those kind of things that have Jet Li at his peak.
Yeah.
Not in Lethal Weapon mode, but when he was insane. If you look at, even the earlier Jackie Chan stuff, and I'm concentrating on these movies so they're a little bit more accessible.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in China is probably not that accessible for a lot of people, on the grounds that it's you're like Jet Li, but he looks very different, and he's a monk, and he's got a ponytail, and but there's a world of cinema out there that people are missing out on just because you think subtitles.
Redcliffe.
Yeah. That's another one.
Yeah, watch Redcliffe. And even all the horror movies they brought out, like Ringu, The Grudge, even like The Host or Save the Green Planet. That if you like horror movie, like Save the Green Planet, a thriller. It's pretty much they call it Close Encounters of the Third Kind meets Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah,
if that's
that's pretty cool actually.
Yeah, if that piques your interest, go dive right into Asian cinema because there's some amazing things out there.
Probably one of the best movies I have ever seen is a Korean movie, and I talk about this any opportunity I get, and it's called Taegukgi. I'm pronouncing it wrong, but that's how it's spelled.
Oh, well, you do that.
Taegukgi. Or it's also known as Brotherhood of War. Sometimes it appears in the European movie channels. I'm not sure if it's on Netflix, but you can get out there and buy it and it's in Korean and it's subtitled, and it is one of the best films. If it doesn't rip your heart out of your chest and eat it in front of you by the very end to have you in a big blubbering mess, then you are not alive, people. Seriously. I cannot recommend the movie highly enough.
That's me and Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah.
The anime. Is that Ghibli?
I'm not sure, actually.
I'm not sure. We'll put a pin in that. But yeah, Grave of Fireflies is the most heart-wrenching piece of animation I've ever seen. It's about two kids in World War II, and it starts off sad and just gets worse from there. It's an amazing watch, but heavy going.
And funnily enough, I just know from our part of the world that we're lucky enough to have a French film festival or a Japanese film festival or whatever. But the thing is, while we have these types of festivals, people here, I'm not sure what it's like elsewhere, just turn up to, I was at the French Film Festival, darling. My fucking prawn sandwiches coming out my nose. I don't know what I seen, but it was just awful, vile French people, honey. Do you know what I mean? So you have people who turn up to this.
Why'd he turn German at
the end? I don't know. Germany, France. Let's not go there. But, you know, people just turn up to these things. The majority turn up to say, I was at the Fringe Film Festival or whatever. The minority are the ones that actually go to see something that might be absolutely amazing. I'm not sure what it's like, you know, elsewhere around the world, but I know here that's generally the idea, that these people don't see the inside of a cinema unless it's a social kind of thing in a social calendar. So it's like a whatever film festival, and then they turn up just to be seen. And I guess there was one movie that was an exception to that, and that was Terrence Malick's The Tree of Life, where I went. That came out kind of Christmas time. Yeah, I remember going like a couple of days after Christmas. I went on my own into a very small cinema, and everybody that was there, you knew they had no fucking idea what was going on, but they were just there to say, "Well, we went to see Terrence Malick's Tree of Life. It was this amazing abstract piece, and Brad Pitt was in it, and there was dinosaurs and fucking Jurassic Park." You know, it was just, and I couldn't fucking hack. I couldn't really hack the Tree of Life at all.
Yeah.
And all of these people, like, you know, every now and again you hear, and then I'm like, oh, it was beautiful, darling. The cinematography was amazing, and the soundtrack, and Bradley was super. It was, oh my god.
Oh, you call him Bradley, do you?
Yeah. You know, oh, will we go for some cans of Dutch Gold, darling, on the way home? It was marvelous. Oh my god. And these people were just there to be fucking, like, I'm talking about, I don't know who they were, but I'm talking about them, so their job has been done.
Yeah.
Years on, there's some old fucking a podcast going, them sure the fuckers went to that cinema buying they were only there to see, you know, to be seen. But that's the sad thing, you know? Nobody goes to see a blockbuster to be seen going to see a blockbuster. People go to see a dumb old blockbuster because they want to go see a dumb old blockbuster. And unfortunately, people can miss out. The biggest thing, though, it's not whether the robots are cutting the trailer or the robots are screaming and their eyes are exploding from what's going on in front of them, and they're probably going, we're going to kill all these human motherfuckers. As soon as we get a bit more mobile, they're all fucking dead.
Thankfully, that never happened.
You know, it's just people miss out.
Yeah.
You know, people miss out. I've lost my train of thought. But anyway, people do miss out. And that's kind of the way we're gone. But word of mouth is the thing that always separates social media, love it or hate it. That's what can encourage somebody to go see something.
That's the new word of mouth.
You know,
social media,
because people are like flies. You know,
hover over shit.
Sorry, they're like, yeah, that too. Yeah, exactly. But people are like sheep. Oh Jesus, Johnny, don't run into that. We'll have to go see that now. We'll have to go see it. Get into the car, start it up. You know, that's the kind of thing. And then people are like, at the cinema watching Terrence Malick's The Branches of the Devil's Life or whatever, you know. So and people are like, oh Jesus, Johnny went to see that. Christ above her, we must go see it too. You know, and these are the same people who fucking their life revolves around fucking X Factor. You know, and you know what I'm getting at? And
yeah.
And it's kind of something that drives me spare, but you'd see, you know, nobody goes, oh, the Fast and the Furious in the cinema. But it's like, oh, we're at the latest Terrence Malick blockbuster, you know. There's some really abstract stuff, lads. Fucking hell almighty. Like, Jesus above, now my brain came out my ears. Like, but what an enlightening experience. When we were driving home, we had this spiritual experience in the car. It was fucking amazing, bye. You know? And that's the kind of problem. So the studio's on one side of the problem.
I forgot how to start.
And the people are on the fucking other side. Maybe it's just me and Tom should attend cinemas in future.
Yeah.
The rest of you stay at home and listen for the weekly podcast. But that's a huge issue.
Yeah.
You
like,
know,
don't always watch
issue.
Transformers, people. Watch Tree of Life.
Don't watch the Tree of Life. Don't watch the Tree.
Watch The Fountain. Watch bloody Itchy the Killer. Watch Old Boy. Don't always watch.
Don't watch the Josh Brolin Old Boy.
Oh no, yeah.
Watch the original Old Boy. House of Flying Daggers. Go watch that. You know,
Hero.
But he's steady on time.
All right.
But you know, and I think all of that is a huge issue for people. That, oh, can I put this into my Facebook? Can I stick this on Twitter? Will people suddenly think I'm cool? Will suddenly people think I'm artsy or I'm an intellectual or whatever, you know? And that's no wonder the studios are going, sit those fucking robots in front of that movie and make them cry. And don't wear gloves.
Oh, that's how it started. Yeah, Morgan. Yeah. Like,
but anyway, Morgan's kind of shit, so probably don't bother go seeing that. Yeah, but anyway, that's Vic's point for this week, which is right on the money.
Yeah,
as per usual.
Can we get like a money sound?
No, we
Ching,
can't.
ching.
No, we can't. We have no money. Right, moving on. Time to unleash our critically acclaimed screen actor on. Well, you know the drill by now. Somebody hit that clip.
A critically acclaimed screen actor quotes movies he hasn't started. It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You stole fizzy lifting drinks. You bumped into the ceiling, which now has to be washed and sterilized. So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Nobody could replace Gene Wilder
No.
in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Not even Johnny fucking Depp.
Yeah.
There was 2 sad Hollywood deaths this week. John Pulido, which is this amazing character actor.
Yeah, if you've seen like the big Coen Brothers movies, Miller's Crossing, Big Lebowski, Man Who Wasn't There, Hudsuck Proxy, you know this guy. He's everywhere. He's like one of those legendary character actors. Has been in everything. He's been in Scrubs. He's been in The Crow. He's been in even recently bloody Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But it's the Coen Brothers that made his name. He was Johnny Casper in Miller's Crossing, the gangster who kept complaining people are giving him the high hat. And he was just amazing. He had this like shouty, sweaty charm about him. He was like an overweight guy with a pencil mustache, and when you saw him, you're always guaranteed to get a great performance. I think most people know him as the Fino from Big Lebowski, the brother Seamus, like an Irish monk. But he was one of those actors who was the epitome of a that guy actor. You probably don't know his name, but you know him to see, and you know that he was absolutely fantastic. And he passed away at the age of 65, and we miss you, sir.
Yeah, and I guess the other one, and I guess any death is sad in Hollywood, but I think for a lot of people, particularly because of one movie, and rightfully so, but also wrongfully so, but Gene Wilder passed away due to complications with Alzheimer's. And here's the thing, he loved his fans so much that he never wanted them to know that he had Alzheimer's. So it
wouldn't. First I heard of it.
So it wouldn't, upset them, and it wouldn't tarnish the happy memories that he had generated. So he didn't ever want that. So obviously, it's the family when they released that statement. That's that was the reasoning behind it. But Gene Wilder, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is the one, because I think in a lot of households this was the one that came on at Christmas.
It's still coming on Christmas.
It hasn't been on at Christmas.
Well, I have a DVD.
Okay. Well, it hasn't come on. I haven't seen it as regularly over the last couple of years as it used to be. I always figured it was more of an Easter movie.
Because of chocolate.
With chocolate. I don't know how it got into Christmas, but...
just Vic just sitting there seeding with fucking Easter watching it, like, fucking Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and here I am with Mel Gibson and Jesus going, oh fucking hell, where's my Willy Wonka dig Blu-ray? But yeah, so like Gene Wilder has passed away, but I think there's a whole bait of other movies that you need to familiarize yourself. Young Frankenstein is the first one, which is insatiably funny. Like.
Yes, and he is amazing.
But for me, I have these very happy memories of Stir Crazy and See No Evil, Hear No Evil, because I used to watch them with my dad, and it was just the way Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor had this chemistry which was drier than any desert you'd ever been in, but it was just hilarious. Yeah. And it was when he died, one of the movie channels here just started doing the usual let's cash in on this, and Stir Crazy was on, and I said I'll watch it for 2 minutes, and I watched it till the end, and it's just so funny. And something that is, what was that, 74, sorry, Stir Crazy was 1980, Young Frankenstein was 74, I think. So something that is nearly 30 odd years old, nearly, that still brings the funny.
Yeah.
The level I remember it at. Even when I saw Star Wars as a kid, it doesn't hold up to me the way it used to. But this did,
and that's Gene Wilder.
I mean, look, the guy was hilarious.
For me, my favorite was Blazing Saddles,
and of course, Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks, yeah, like the whole the Waco Kid was amazing. The whole bit where like he shows his hand and he goes, "Oh, steady as a rock." Oh, but I shoot with this one and it's shaking uncontrollably. Yeah,
and I think when there's an actor dies, it's always a good excuse to go back and look at some of their best work.
Yeah.
Because you may not necessarily be digging out stir crazy, but then you go, maybe I'll go back and watch it. So that's the silver lining in the sadness, and I think that's a good way to celebrate somebody's go back and look at some of their stuff.
Yeah. So I watched Miller's Crossing at the weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like stir crazy. Young Frankenstein, See No Evil, Hear No Evil, just for the awkwardness between Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder alone. But he was genius.
They're so awkward, but they have great chemistry.
Yeah, I mean, there's some great interviews up with Gene Wilder if you go on YouTube. He didn't do many TV appearances, but they did convince him at one point a couple of years ago to go on to Conan O'Brien.
Oh,
and Conan is just in complete awe.
Yeah,
it's just this wonderful interview. It's just this wonderful interview.
And Gene Wilder will live on in memes now.
Yeah, and he's been living on in memes for quite some time.
Yeah, Condescending Wonka is one of my favourites.
And one of them, so I've died. Please tell me how much of a fan you were.
Yeah, which...
Oh, it's fucking dark. But it's true. It's true, And I'm sure Gene would have got the reference. Yeah. And I think he would have got a kick out of that. Alrighty, moving on with the rest of the movie news. Don't forget as well, you can get in touch with us. Hit us up by email, podcast@themoviebit.com, or @themoviebit on Twitter, or drop us a comment on the Facebook page. And we're only too happy to hear from you. In fact, we love hearing from you folks. So please, get in touch. Right, James Bond. Pull help. The guy references are still going on throughout. The American audience
will never die.
Is the other guy masturbating him?
Pull hard.
Oh,
pull hard.
Pull hard. Fake. Why am I surprised you brought the tone down?
Okay, so there's a
tone's on the floor.
There's an unofficial shortlist for the next James Bond because Daniel Craig has told the trucks that backed up to his house full of money and jewels to just drive away because he doesn't want them. Yeah. So he says right now. So there's an official...
Until a bigger truck comes along with bigger jewels.
Yeah, so there's this unofficial shortlist. Throw out some names that are in there, Tom.
Yeah.
And let's have some mirth and giddiment.
Okay, look, get the pile of salt ready because this is from the Sun. Idris Elba.
No. I just don't... I think there would be too much made of him. Oh, there's a black fella doing jizz. Sure, there's no spies, black lads.
Pull out!
And I think Idris Elba is a great guy.
Yeah.
And I think he's a great actor. And I think it would be wrong for people that go, oh, he's black.
Yeah, as good, he's a fantastic actor. But at the end of the day, people will see it as, oh, they're just casting him because he's black.
Yeah, and
that's going to ruin it.
And diversity is one thing, but
manufactured diversity is
what
the devil.
I wonder sometimes somewhere somebody's going to make a Ghostbusters reboot and they're just go, I think we should have all women in it just to give women a we all remember that, don't we, Paul Feig?
He doesn't still listen. He doesn't. Next up is Charlie Hunnam.
No.
Tom Hiddleston, we've heard this name before.
I think Charlie Hunnam lacks the finesse.
Yeah, he's...
I mean, yes, he can help cancelling the apocalypse. And he can ride a motorcycle, but...
He's too much of an action star.
Yeah.
Like, you look at him and go, okay, he's going to be, like...
He's and I hate to say it, I mean this with the greatest respect, that he's lacking refinement.
Yeah, and I would say he's lacking a personality, but let's move on. Jamie Bell.
I think Jamie Bell would make a great... what's the gadget guy? Q, isn't it? Yeah, I think Jamie Bell would make a great Q.
I think you'll have to claw that role from Ben Whisher's dead hands.
I would think so.
Aidan Turner.
Aidan Turner was amazing in The Hobbit, and if you go back through the podcasts, we were chatting with Aidan Turner about The Hobbit. But he
has the look. He's another guy who has the look of a generic action star.
Yeah, I think in one sense, right? If you look at Pierce Brosnan, if you look at Sean Connery, if you look at Timothy Dalton, if you look at Roger Moore, and if you look at Daniel Craig, they all have this sense of refinement.
Yeah,
I know people may laugh at Roger Moore or Sean Connery being refined, but they actually, in those roles, they as slapstick as some of them are, they are very refined characters.
And back when they made that was refinement.
Yeah, and if they go away from that, which there's no reason why they shouldn't, then it changed the whole James Bond universe.
It becomes Jason Bourne.
Yes. So I would think they're desperate to keep away from that in one sense. Alternatively, they're looking at box office receipts for everything else, going, maybe we should put James Bond into space again.
Yes, because they're all screaming for a Moonraker remake.
Yeah.
Okay, let's burn through the last three. James Norton.
Okay.
I never heard of the guy. He's from Happy Valley, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Evans. No, another generic action star. And Michael Fassbender.
Hey, put him! Hey, Irish fella! I think
there's only an Irish guy in there. Aidan Turner.
We want a half Irish guy.
All right, sorry.
Sorry.
We need that Germanic descent in there.
I not that I'm biased. I think Fassbender has that refinement. He has that elegance. He has that class. Does he want to?
Him and Hiddleston, I think, both have it, but Fassbender has a bit more of an edge to him.
Yeah, and as well, you know, I think Hiddleston can do accents very well.
Yeah,
but he's always, you know, burdened with glorious purpose. You know, my name is Bond, James Bond. Hello. Hi.
Say the purpose line again.
You know, I'd like it shaken, not stirred, because I'm burdened with glorious purpose. You know, you mewling quim.
What would you say if you had a really nice looking dolphin on your hand?
A dolphin?
Yeah. Would you say you burdened with glorious porpoise?
I'm not even fucking going to do it because that's just so bad. I think Fassbender he's got the refinement of the old school. He's got the elegance of the old school. And he's got the sprinklings of Craig and Brosnan in there. And then he brings himself to it.
Yeah.
So for me, it would be Fassbender. I don't see him wanting. I think he's enough, or has had enough going on with franchises with X-Men.
Yeah, I think he's franchised out.
Yeah, so I personally, I wouldn't see him signing up for 3 or 4 movies. What did Craig do? 4, wasn't it? Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace,
Skyfall, Spectre. 4.
Yeah, 4. Yeah. So I could not see him signing up for 3 or 4 movies for Bond. But again, money talks ultimately. But I don't think it's the way he would want to go from a career point of view.
Yeah.
Not now. I think maybe in 10 years.
Now look at what he's done. He's done Shane. He's done Hunger. He's done.
I can see something fucking stupid happening to this. Liam Neeson will fucking.
Oh God.
James Bond. I have a certain set of skills.
Will Ferrell.
Yeah, you know, I you know, there's not a lot out there.
No.
I think
like maybe they're on the right track of James Norton going for a relatively unknown.
And I think you could make the argument that Daniel Craig was relatively unknown.
Yeah.
When he took up that
mantle. Brosnan was only known for TV at the time.
Yes. So it's a very tough one to call. I think Fassbender, from the list that Thomas called out, is the best one there.
Yeah.
For the reasons we've outlined, but for everybody else, I don't know. It's a mad one. Is there not some weird licensing rights thing going on that they have to do it?
No, I think Eon and MGM outrightly own.
Okay,
James Bond.
It's not like a Spider-Man thing.
No,
where they have to do 15 movies a year, all reboots.
Yeah, no, like that was a problem back before the first Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And kind of, I think Sony and MGM teamed up. Who had it? Was it Paramount or someone had the rights to? No, Sony had the rights to James Bond. Paramount had the rights to Spider-Man, and MGM backed Sony. So Sony gave them James Bond back, and they got Spider-Man.
Something like that, yeah. Our memories are not that good enough, and we don't prepare. But yeah, so let us know who would you like to see as James Bond. Maybe that unofficial shortlist. You know, actually, who mightn't be too bad in it, but is the kid who was in what's his name? He's playing Han Solo.
Alden Ehrenreich.
Yeah. Is he Japanese, Canadian? Where's he from? Do we know?
I don't know.
I have a feeling he's Canadian.
A name like Reich, I'm saying German.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe.
Or I'm just being racist. There's something about him, though.
Yeah, I yeah, whatever. Wherever the fuck he's from. He's someone that's up and coming as well.
Yeah.
Maybe there's enough in his plate for Han Solo. I'm not necessarily sure about that, but there's another name that maybe could come into the cast. Maybe they just want to nail some young actor and get them in there and keep them there for 10 movies.
That's what they always do with James Bond. They kind of they do a Marvel. Well, they did a Marvel contract way before Marvel were doing it. You're in here for like 5-6 movies. So don't do anything else. We saw that already with Daniel Craig. He hasn't done much.
I think for a young actor, it's probably a bad move because they're going to lose, even if it's 4 movies, they're going to lose 8 to 10 years of their life to that role. At that point, they may be a little bit too old to do something that they'd really want to do, that they could have done 6 years previous. So that's why I think Fassbender, if he was another 5 or 10 years older, he would be ripe for this.
He's done everything he wants to do, and he's just wearing tuxedo, cashing a paycheck.
Yeah. So let us know, podcast@themoviebit.com, or drop us a comment on the Facebook page. Who would you like to see as the next James Bond? Anyway, that is it for us, people. We will be back next week as per usual, each and every Monday. Subscribe to the podcast on Stitcher and iTunes. Follow us on the Movie Bit, and the live video will be back next week. And that, as they say, is
that.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye,
everybody.
The MovieBit.com podcasts. Available on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, direct download, and streaming on the MovieBit.com.